It's getting closer to midnight. I tried to get.
Good morning. It is Mother's Day and my morning just started. Landon just woke up and he's having such a nutritious breakfast. He's eating pizza, but that's okay. Today I'm super excited because I am going to be making a chocolate cake. And making the cake was actually inspired by Kimiko from The Budget Mom. She made the cake on the back of the Hershey's Cocoa Box container for her mom for Mother's Day, and I figured that I'd do the same for my sister-in-law. I've never made it before, so this is going to be my first time, so that should be pretty interesting. But keep on watching so you can see how it turns out. Morning, sunshine. Then where's Daddy? Daddy's not there. Daddy's in the room. Yeah. No. Say chocolate. Wait, on the back. Here, show them. Show the camera. Say, look here. So, we're going to surprise Titi, right? Mm-hmm. He's sitting on the table right now. But he has a message for you guys. Landon. Say subscribe. Say like. And hit the notification bell. That works. Okay, what do we need? Say sugar. Flour. Cocoa powder. Baking powder. Baking soda. Say salt, eggs, milk, vegetable oil, vanilla, agua. Yes, we need water. I'm going to go and get these ingredients and then we can get started. Alright, so for this recipe you're going to need 2 9-inch pans, 2 cups of sugar, 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 cup of milk, and 2 eggs. Step 1, heat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what I did already. Grease and flour 2 9-inch round baking pans. I didn't do, I will do that later. Combine dry ingredients in a large bowl. Add eggs, milk, oil, and vanilla. Beat on medium speed for 2 minutes. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take my paddle off. I'm using my KitchenAid. I think you should be able to do this using your hand, but if you have a KitchenAid, I would use this. All right, so dry ingredients. I'm putting in the sugar, and then I'm putting in flour. And I'll use my whisk here just to ease it in. Here are my other dry ingredients. And put the paddle on here. Lock it in, and I'm just gonna stir it. And now we're going to add the eggs, milk, oil, and vanilla. All of our wet ingredients except for boiling water. So let's add our eggs. 1 egg, 2 eggs. This milk. I wonder if can you guys hear my son? He's playing with the dog. Oil, vanilla. I'm gonna go ahead and put my paddle back on. And then I'm gonna start mixing it on a low speed first and then increase to medium, because the last thing I want is everything to be splashing all over the place. So it's been 2 minutes, and now I'm going to pour in the 1 cup of boiling water. Pour that right in. Now that it's been mixing for a little bit, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to take the paddle off and I'm going to scrape the sides of the bowl. Get everything, there isn't any dry ingredients stuck to the bottom of the bowl. And if you don't have a rubber spatula like this one, definitely invest in one. It's really helpful and it lets you get everything on the side, whereas if you normally whisk it with an actual whisk, you can't really get everything on the sides, even if you try to use a spoon. So that's what I really like about the silicone spatulas. I got everything off of the sides. I'm just gonna mix it again for like 30 more seconds, and then I'll go ahead and I'll put it in the pans. So I have my cake batter here and my 2 pans. I'm going to grease them and flour them, and then we are going to pour them evenly in the pans and then cook them for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm probably not doing this correctly, but what I did was I just took a little bit of butter, about half a tablespoon of butter. I could be doing this wrong, but I am not a baker. I'm simply doing this for fun. I'm just really hoping it comes out right. Take the flour and just like sprinkle it all around. Can't even talk. All right, and then just like shake it like this so you can get it on the sides too. This will definitely help with taking the cake out once it's finished. So now they're all greased and floured, let's pour in our batter. Woohoo! I'm not going to measure. That would probably be ideal. I'm just going to eyeball it. Here are my 2 cake pans, and now it's time to put them in the oven. So, I fell asleep after the cake finished, and I just woke up. It's like 3 o'clock. I'm taking Blue outside, and then I realized I don't have any more vanilla. So I have to go run to the store, grab some vanilla, and then Hi. No, we don't. We'll go on the trampoline later. But yeah, I realized I have to go get some vanilla extract so I can make the frosting. So I'm gonna go to the store and then start the frosting. All right, so wash the dishes that I needed for the frosting. Who are you screaming at? What do you want? A spoon? For what? I got the stuff I need for the frosting. So I'm gonna wipe off the table and then make the frosting. All right, so for the frosting, you're gonna need 2/3 cup of cocoa powder, 3 cups of powdered sugar, 1/3 cup of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and half a cup of butter melted. So I'm actually gonna melt this before I put it in there. And then that is it. Now that I got my butter melted, let's check the instructions again one more time. Melt the butter, did that. Stir in cocoa. All right, so I'm actually using a different attachment. I'm using the whisk attachment just because I thought it'd be a little bit easier. So for the sake of time, I actually am just going to do a voiceover for the rest of the cake. So after I put the butter inside of the tin, I just went ahead and I poured in the cocoa and just let it mix. And then after some time, it started to clump together on the whisk. So you see me here just trying to remove the clumps. Once I was satisfied with the whisk and how it looked, I went ahead and started to pour in the, oh my god, what is it called? Powdered sugar. I started pouring in the powdered sugar and then I added some milk to it. I was using this clear cover also, by the way, to reduce the powdered sugar from diffusing into the air. Is diffusing even the right word? Whatever. I didn't want it to get all over the place, so I'm using that, and then I just started to let it mix. And they have a little opening, so I went ahead and I poured everything else in there. And this is what your frosting should look like. So we have the frosting.
We have a frosting.
Now we have to frost the cake.
Frost the cake.
Say it to the camera. Say we gotta frost the cake.
We frost the cake.
We interrupt your program for some Lopez household shenanigans. Thanks! Don't copy me. Oh, that's white.
Go play.
I like this.
Go play.
Oh, this looks good. Hey! This is so cute! I like it. Yes! It's kind of like the one,
Like
I was...
still.
No, it's not. Watch the show.
Oh, these are supposed to... Smells really good. Oh, honeysuckle. The soy candles are supposed to last, like, forever.
It's a brand.
Like, that'll do anything, though. Go ask your father.
Oh, what hand you hold it in? What does it say on the other side?
Go ask your father.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like.
It's a cup. What's in there? A cookie?
Yeah. But it comes with the lid.
Oh, that's dope. So that's on the cup.
Thanks, son.
I'd rather that than a cup.
It's okay, it's a vlog.
You're welcome.
No.
Thank you.
Tell her she gotta help you too. It's from you.
Oh, that was from you, Carter?
Go ahead, Kiki. Get in the frame. Get in the frame. Get in the frame. Get in the frame.
Who is this?
This is cute.
She's faking for that camera.
Oh, I'm faking. Hold on.
I'm just playing.
So this is a gift that we're gonna get for Emily. I didn't get a chance to wrap it up. I know it's ghetto, but me and Anthony are gonna give her $200. We're gonna put it in here. So let's go. Wait, hold on. Look at this. Leah!
What?
No, you say yes.
Yes, Mom.
Come here, buddy. We're gonna give Titi her Mother's Day gift. Did I say look over here?
Where's your Mother's Day?
Okay.
It's in the cup.
Yeah. All right. Here, help brother hold that. All right, give it to Tutu. Say Happy Mother's Day.
There's debit cards. I love these things. Oh, some of my favorite people.
We're gonna send you $200.
Listen. When you see this cup out, don't talk to me. It's been a bad day. Says, thank you.
Are you a coffee shit in here? Yep. You got a what? You got a what?
Yo. Y'all making me feel famous.
Okay, so now that we finished our shenanigans, it's time to frost the cake. And what I did was I just took one of the cakes, placed it on this cake table turner thing. I can't think of the correct name right now. I'm drawing a blank. And then I put some frosting on the first layer, and then I stacked the second cake on top, and then I just started frosting all the way around. It's really sloppy, but I wasn't too worried about it because I'm going to clean it at the end. It's also a little bit lopsided, but at that point I didn't care. I just wanted to hurry up and be done with the cake. Also, for these little swirls that I'm doing on top of the cake, I didn't use the same frosting. I actually used Betty Crocker chocolate frosting. And then I took these sprinkles and just sprinkled it on top.
Ooh, if you say what you want from me, if you say what you want from me, yeah, I give all that I can to please. I give all.
Alright,
This, Daddy?
it's done. That's what it looks like.
All right. It's done. It's done. She said it like that.
It's my cake.
What?
We finished the cake. It's lopsided. It's not that pretty, but it's edible. So we're gonna eat the cake now, and then me and Emily are gonna start the originals. I've already seen it, but she hasn't. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe,
And cut.
like, and notification bell.
And notification bell.
Say bye.
Bye.
Say peace out, homie.